Good evening, everyone. I'm Hartiya's Constellation. Happy Teachers Day.
A very good evening to all. Am I audible?
Yes,
Yes, madam.
you are.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
A very good evening and a fantastic day indeed, because as we are about to have Teachers Day and it is an assemblage of all educators. So welcome to you all, and I would now take you through the flow of the day, but as our protocol says that we all need to take blessings of our elders and gurus, and we would thereby like to start with a guru sloka or a pranam mantra, and I would really request sir to give the technical support of moving on the screen to the sloka. I would request all the participants to please put off your video so that we can carry on the show and we can get to our audibility range. I would request the participants to please put off the video, sorry, the audio, so that we can just get into with the session. We can start on time and we would prefer to finish on time. We have got number of eminent speakers this evening and wonderful awardees who are waiting to have this started. Thank you so much. We would initially like to be with the pranam mantra. Om Agyan Timindas Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshurunmilitam Jnana Shri Gurave Namah. I think we are on the verge of celebrating Teachers' Day tomorrow, and it is without saying or without expressing furthermore that we are trying to offer our respectful obeisance to our spiritual master, those who are not even initiated. We are all initiated with our parents and teachers, so they are our masters too, who has opened our eyes, and with that we are actually coming out of darkness of ignorance with the torchlight of knowledge. And we have a cluster and assemblage of all educators with their philosophy of education, which is the theme for this evening. And we would really like to have the blessings of all senior members who are here today with us to bless us in this venture of spreading education, learning ourselves. And I hope we all are very well acquainted with the new education policy where we need to learn, unlearn and relearn. In this journey of learning, unlearning and relearning, we would like to welcome our guests of honor and speakers. We have Mr. Shauman Dey, Dr. Pramod, Mr. Gagan Arora, Mr. Ajay Singh. He's a professor, Dr. Ajay Singh Rathore. We have Dr. Bedkar. We have Dr. Dwarika Prasad Ujjain. And definitely I am your host and also your anchorer for this evening. And I will try my level best to just make use of your valuable time for which you all have assembled here. We will be keeping it bilingual so that if there is any difficulty, we would like our messages to be spread to all, and we would definitely like to use our own national language in between, but we will keep most of the thing in English, but we are definitely going to march Hindi into it in case if there is any other further clarity to be made and mistakes committed. It's really appreciable from all the side if it can be pardoned. We would like to first introduce two personalities for whom we all are here, and I would like to give a brief of the founders of this organization and their minuteness in seeing this naming or even seeing the visionary, which is really needed of the time. And after COVID, this is a platform where many people are getting benefited And we would like to first welcome Mr. Vikrant Singhal, who is the finance specialist and education consultant. He is the founder of EDVISHAN, a highly versatile and a proactive leader. Mr. Vikrant is currently working as a finance crime officer in MNC with an educational background, master in business administration from United Kingdom, and worked with many reputed organizations, Amazon UK and Berlix UK. He had made major contributions in corporate and financial planning, accounting, reconciliation, staff leadership, development in foreign companies. He has an exposure to work in multiple MNCs. Also, he was associated with a reputed educational consultancy as a branch head. He is the recipient of several prestigious awards for excellence and stewardship. Now, when we talk about their about the founders and their achievements, really the words fall short. We have the next foundress, Ms. Saloni Rai. She's an edu leader, author, keynote speaker, master trainer, and educational master trainer, certified coach and mentor. She's currently working as a school principal. She is associated with various and esteemed organizations as ordinary advisor, board member, global ambassador like Sports Academy Association of India, Global Trainer Academy, Women Tech Network Association of Indian Principals Network, Global School Leaders, and she has achieved many awards like Dr. Sarojini Naidu International Award for Working Women, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam International Award for Excellence, Dr. Sarvapalli Radhakrishnan Rashtriya Shiksha Ratan Award, Fox Clues Top 100 Women Icon Award, and many more. But to me, both of them are a very, very, very down-to-earth people, and you can really see their source and glory when they had been in this span of time could assemble so many educators on same platform, even during the amidst of COVID, and they had contacted so many people. They have isolated the best among the group, and today they have launched a program where we are going to award the fraternities of the education industry. So really, I would like to give my heartfelt thanks to them for their initiative, because this is a platform where teachers are being really and really felicitated, not with the money, but with the honor they deserve. I hope you all will agree as educationists that we are not rich with materials, we are rich with values. And I'm so very thankful for both the founder and the foundress that they had found a platform. They have thought of felicitating all those who have achieved a tremendous journey through this contribution of their selfless and motivated devotion for this field of education, and had reached a step where we can really be influenced by their achievements. So this is Dr. Shanali Basu, who is going to take you through and introduce our speakers. We have already spoken about the names of the speakers. We have much to say about them as we move on. But before that, we need to just give a short introduction of what this EDVISHAN actually means to and means for. It's a learning platform specialized for the skills, teachers training, and many other trainings too. It is about a dedicated and innovative creating platform where we have a quality coaching, mentoring, and guidance to the students of all age group for junior to university level. And during this time after COVID, when people are looking forward for getting much of the resources under the same platform, they are really providing the guidance, very lucrative and authentic guidance for different competitive exams, BCA, MBA, MBA, law, career counseling, spoken English, training, personality development, interview skills, branding, marketing strategies, mental well-being, which is really and really a need of the time, sports management, e-commerce, personal grooming, styling, artificial intelligence, database management, web programming, JavaScript, content marketing, search engine marketing, communication skill, diversity and inclusion, coaching and mentoring, learning styles and strategies, and many more. Now, when we talk about their work or the areas in which they are exploring, I would really like to add on from my own self as a speaker and a host for this evening. I would really like to congratulate once again because they have put on those particular areas of research which is actually been inculcated in NEP, and we are also seeing that they have taken care of the mental well-being of the students. It is not just a coaching center, it's not just an organization imparting education. They are actually giving the scope to the career counseling where the students will be understanding that beyond the so-called traditional fields of medical, engineering, teaching, there are many other lines in which the child can really grow up. So not only that, they have also included artificial intelligence, which even CBSE, ICC, and NEP system had incorporated, and they have also included coding into the curriculum. So I would really appreciate their initiative in being so thoughtful and using these skills, which are going to be in full-fledged from 2020-23. So thanks to the founders who have been very thoughtful in assembling the important spheres of education under the same roof. So taking you through and moving ahead, I would also like to share more about their vision and mission. EDVISHAN is an amalgamation of two words, ed and vision. Ed is a Sanskrit word from education, which is known to all of us. I would like to add one more thing, that before we used to say that we are moving on to a Vidyalaya. Even now people say school means a Vidyalaya. But since we are having many speakers with us today, I think they all will agree that we were going to a Vidyalaya to gain knowledge with, it's another Sanskrit word, we wanted to gain knowledge, but due to the inefficiency, some of this Vidyalaya are now only becoming Sikshalaya. So there is a difference between Vidyalaya and Sikshalaya. So as we are going to talk about philosophy of education, we think that really we have to give importance to the Vidya, not only the Siksha. Vidya is a wider scope, and thereby they have taken ed for giving that Vidya and vision for giving the best class and kind as per their visionaries. So mission of mission of EDVISHAN is to support, guide, and empower each and everyone from any corner of the world who aspires to learn and soar high to become their best version. Vision of EDVISHAN is to revisualize the learning sphere and transport it from the accelerating sphere. Acceleration of growth, expertise, and awareness. I think it goes without saying that unless and until we utilize our education, we utilize or execute our learned knowledge, it will be of no use. And to use that, we need to expertise those skills. And for expertising, we need to be aware. So once again, congratulations to this thoughtful statement of mission and vision. And now I would request Mr. Vikrant, who is the founder of this organization, to please take us through more about the courses before we introduce our first speaker, followed by the first phase and group of awardees. Over to you, Vikrant, sir.
Yeah. So first of all, I would like to say thanks to all our speakers and congratulations to all awardees who all are selected 150 out of 2000 plus registrations. Like we have received 2000 plus applications for this award, but we selected only 150 applications due to their hard work and contribution toward the education and social field. And this recognition is helpful into their career growth, appraisals, and of course it is a very big recognition for our organization. And this feedback we have received for the same, we are into education centers since decades and observe that it was really needed that to provide quality of education with affordable prices so everyone can get good education. Then me and my co-founder Shanoli started EDVISHAN some month back. It is our starting phase. but yeah, we are doing good. Where Admission is the platform where everyone can get good qualification, good quality of education with affordable prices. We have launched many courses as teachers training programs, spoken English development programs, K-12 classes. We are going to launch many other courses into coming months. We have already conducted teachers training program for many schools with very good feedback. We have collaborated already multiple organizations in India and abroad also. Now we are open for further collaboration to complete our call to our education. There are some courses. I will share the slide with you. Yeah, these are all courses like we have already launched, and we are again about to launch these courses also, teachers training programs, and this will be covered on this program. And this is English Admission English Grammar Certificate program. We will provide certificate for grammatical, and it is a short course. And with we have already put a very lower prices. All courses, our courses are in within the affordable rates. Like if anyone compare with another organization, another company, then you will find that very less prices with good quality of educator, good quality of good quality of product, good quality of material. So I would like to share some success stories also with you. We have already got this type of feedback from the like where we have conducted our teachers training program. There are many states where we have already conducted, and we have like trained more than 1,000+ teachers over there. Now we will look forward and all your support. Thank you so much. And Sonali, you can continue right now.
Thank you, sir. Thank
Yeah,
you, sir,
please
for this vital
continue.
information regarding the organization. And now we are going to move into the speaker section. And I would really like to welcome our guest of honor, Dr. Pramod Kumar Rajput. Before he say and share his golden speech, I would like to just give an introduction of our first speaker, Dr. Pramod Kumar Rajput. He is a seasoned corporate professional with a rich experience of over 40 years in pharmaceuticals and healthcare industry, sales and marketing, while working as a senior vice president and vertical head in domestic markets, and now heading as an international business in charge of 25 countries of Calidera Pharmaceuticals Limited, based at Ahmedabad, an Indian multinational leading pharmaceutical company. We are really, really blessed to have him as a speaker, and he's going to share his philosophy of education. Welcome, sir. Welcome you to this forum.
Thank you so much, Shonali ma'am, for inviting me. And of course, Education Excellence Award, the philosophy of the education, what you have just narrated it here. And while inviting 150 awardees, it always speaks a lot about it. So very, very good evening, and the people, and good afternoon, and good morning to the people who are there from the different part of the world as well, because I have seen that multiple people they have joined here. And at the same time, I like to convey my gratitude to Vikrant Singhal ji, because I was able to resonate that what you are going to prepare and what you are going to provide to the basic fraternity which is there. I also give my gratitude to Shanoli ma'am, who has really invited me, because it's always a journey, because it's an experience which keeps on, because we keep on learning and we keep on parting. So learning is a life experience, and we always say learning is there till the time the last breath is there. Everywhere, every step of the life, we keep on learning. It is always good with this changing scenario, right? Where we talk about the technology, where we talk about the emotional quotient part, where we talk about the IQ part, when we talk about the creativity part, the learning gamut has been changed. And if you want to be in the complete way of making the things happen, you have to keep acquiring the knowledge from the people who are associated and the people who are there to learn. I always say here one very important thing, because learning was a very old scenario in our basic mythology. I'm sure you all have heard the name of our Kabir Das ji. And Kabirdaji, he said very clearly that Guru Govind do khade kako lage paye, Balihari Guru apne Govind diyo bataye. So Shanoli ma'am, why I'm going to speak in English now? Because that you have already given me the permission, some Hindi words will be there. So it says that in front of the teacher and in front of the God, if I'm standing there, to whom I touch the feet, to whom I should appreciate, or to whom I should respect. So it is always there with the teacher who has told me what is Guru, because teacher is the one person who always tells us where we are, what we are supposed to do. Let me tell this thing very openly, because I am a very shameless learner. I keep myself, I am a shameless learner. I keep on learning from everybody, and whatever today I am, or whatever my journey continues, it will be through the learning from the many people. Today I'm so happy that more than 90 people have beautiful educators, they have joined. They have a lot of strength, and from every person's strength, if we are able to collaborate, that's what we talk about it, I think we can make a world of a difference. And that's what the EDVISHAN is making the things happen. And let me tell you also, Sonali ma'am, you are an outstanding moderator. Beautifully. So first of all, gratitude to you as well. Coming to another point, COVID has really changed us a lot of things. COVID has taught us that, made us to think that what is the out of the way thinking is there. It was there. How the creativity can make a difference. How we can be more humble, we can be more polite, we can be more compassionate, how we can more collaborate, how we can use the technology which is there. So COVID has given a clear-cut ray of hope. Today we have the educators who are there with taking care for 10+2. The NEP guidelines, why it has come? Because it wants that our children, which are going to be a glittering star for the entire globe, they should be as per the requirement of the tomorrow's scenario. Because it's today every child is having a good IQ. But what about the creativity? But when we see about the creativity, I'm sure Vikrant sir will agree with me, because he have a very beautiful experience, and Shonali ma'am will also agree with me, that when these children, then they cleared their college, they did their MBA from finance, from marketing, this and that, either they want to become a service provider or a service giver. So everywhere when they are going to be a service user, what the professional companies they want to see that whether they are coming as a pillar to the organization or simply a one part of the organization. Because when you have started contributing in any of the organization will start respecting you. And organization will keep on giving lot many things. And how it can happen where your base is going to be very, very strong. It is not the only that you make the education as that you get a good marks, but how to utilize that marks, how to utilize that education, how to put it in the right aspect, right? Wherever you are working, going to make a difference. That is always loved, respected. And today
Sir, please unmute.
Unmute.
So I was talking, yeah. So I can see the most of the educator which I can see, because I know that they are one of the best educator here who keeps on putting that they are obsessed. I want to put the word obsessed, because obsession is one thing. When you go to your class, you forget anything and everything. What is happening in your home, what is happening with your relatives, you are totally confined to that 45 minutes, because then educator, right, always feel that his or her, each and every child should be having a plus marks with that. It is not only 90%. His and her child should be doing extraordinary work which is basically required. And that's the way the educators feel very happy. What you said, madam, about it, Shonali ma'am, that we give the values. You are very true. You add values, you add culture, you add the basic thing of humility, humanity, compassion, which is the world is feeling it. The world requires about it. Today, money cannot make the difference, but how you add the things and how you can make the difference in the person's mind while educating, while helping, while being standing next to the person like a pillar, it makes a difference. So these are the beautiful things which I have personally learned in my 40 years of the career, that you should be a servant leader. I'm not talking about the leadership. You should be a mentor to the person. And today, what Vikrant sir has shown me, so many things which are happening here. I think this is the right way of projecting it, that how compassionate, how disciplined, how dedication, how the things is going to make a difference. And it requires an experience which is very important. It requires an energy which is required because we are building our nation. That was the basic thinking of our respected Prime Minister. Today we can say that we are the fifth economy in the world, right? How did it happen? Because everybody started thinking towards one side, how to make India one of the best. And that's what the vision is there of each and every educator. And COVID has taught us that there's something better there. So how to utilize the things in a much better way? I think we are on the right platform. I really salute to Vikrant sir, I salute to Shadoli ma'am, and I salute to all the educators who are going to contribute in this beautiful journey which has started now. And I'm sure this journey is going to take us in a very, very long way, because you all have designed the thing very meticulously, which we as a professional like to see when the new person joins in our organization or any organization, that what are the strengths the person had come and how the person can start contributing with. With this, thank you very much for giving your wonderful platform and inviting me. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Pramod. And being a speaker, being a moderator, and also the anchor, I have pointed out something which I'm going to take it as a takeaway for my life. I really liked the notation when you said that you're a shameless learner. I'm so very thankful, sir, because when people see my CV, I think I would have worked under you or with you, because whenever they see my CV, the first question I always used to have from the schools, why did you do 2 PhDs? Why did you do 5 MSCs? Why did you do medical? Why did you do law after that? Are you mad? Why are you going after certificates? So I'm so thankful that I've got a friend who is also a shameless learner, because all that people can do on earth is simply learning. The day when we understand that except learning, we are nothing actually. Recently, I have launched one of my book, Zero. I'm not campaigning at all. I'll not even say the details of this, because I want a natural branding. I want people to search for the book. So I will not brand it myself, because that is the person I am. And second thing which I have liked is that you said that you are a servant leader. Because I'm from ISKCON and I am a devotee of Lord Krishna, but I did not go for getting a brand of ISKCON. My affection for Krishna has led me to an organization which was dealing for Krishna consciousness. So I had gone there to get more consciousness. So because I am there, I came to know that Prabhupada, who is the founder of ISKCON Society, he was asked in a foreign nation, tell me, you are another Indian, so you have brought another God with you? आप और एक भगवान को लेकर आए हो? He said, no, हम तो देने के लिए आए, लेने के लिए नहीं आए. Then he said, you people are Kangal, you are poor Indians. He said, yes, we are poor, but this time I have come to give you. So he said, so who you are? Are you the God? He said, no, I'm the servant of God. Then that aged person of 72 years had hold his ears saying, sorry, I correct myself. I'm not the servant of God. I'm the servants and servants of God. And this is the definition I give to myself as a principal, because all the principals, once they understand that they are actually the servant of servants, then the entire philosophy of education will change. We will be having not competition, but contribution. So as a speaker of this evening, when I was being told that I am also a speaker, I said, I am going to do the speaking part from beginning till end. So my philosophy of education will be shared automatically. I don't have to have another script. And to be very honest, today is Radha Ashtami. And when I was being called, by my Prabhuji, who are my spiritual mentors, and I was being called by Vikrant and Saloni ma'am, because other than all their credentials, I am associated with them not because of EDVISHAN. I want to be in company with good people, good human being, because ek ko dekhkar baki sabka judgment ho jata hai. So before meeting you all, I am so sure I have got an assemblage of wonderful human beings, because they are going to birds of similar feather flock together. And it started with your speech, when I have really, really loved two things what you have said. A shameless learner. I'm going to remember it and preach to as many people as I can. and definitely I'll be in touch with you. And second is that you are a servant leader. Yes, we are all servants. We are actually nothing but a zero. If we think about our life, we can only do the learning part, which is a never-ending process. We, even after inventing so many things, we still don't know whether really Neil Armstrong had landed in moon or not. If he really had done so, how the flag was waving, because there is supposed to be no atmosphere. So there are so many things to the discoveries made, right? But once again, thank you so much, sir. Instead of getting into the spiritual place today, I worshipped in my house, and I was worshipping for this moment when I am going to be with some more spiritual leaders. I call you all a spiritual leader because when we are following any rituals, whether in school, whether in college, whether as a doctor, whether as a professional, we are actually maintaining ritual. We simply have to add a SPI before that to make it spiritual. So there is a huge difference between spiritual and religious. So I am really open to spirituality other than fighting among religious. So congratulations, sir. It was a wonderful thing hearing from you. And now we are going to have the first set of awardees. And I'm going to call the names as you can see it in the slides. We have got number of eminent people, and as I'm going to tell the name, due to the span of time, we cannot describe everyone individually, but I would really like to convey my humble obeisances to all the awardees, because you have won much than a certificate. You could at least come forward to show, yes, we could really let a foundation stone, and you have encouraged many others who are watching this show that yes, they can also come ahead to share their story and get what they really deserve. So in the first phase, I would like to congratulate Ms. Sapna Agarwal, Meenakshi Mehra, S. Anand, Anu Kiran Khanna, Radhika, Mrs. Sri Lakshmi, Dr. Sarita Rana, Dr. Anshu, Pramod Kumar, Jaswint Kaur, I hope I have read the names correctly. And I repeat once again, Sapna Agarwal, Meenakshi ma'am, S. Anand, Anu Kiran, Radhika, Mrs. Sri Lakshmi, Dr. Sarita Rana, Dr. Anshu, Mr. Pramod Kumar Sharma, Jaswint Kaur, Shikka. So later on, the next slide shows Dr. Anita Sharma, Dr. Rachna, V. Lata, Ankita, Rupanshi, Khan Mehran, Abdul Karim, Sarit Ghosh, Salu Kairakhera, Pratibha Vikram, M. Umakala Sinai. So I would like to congratulate the first team of all EDVISHAN winners and really give a big round of applause for them, because they are the ones who had not only achieved a digital certificate or an award. It is an achievement to the world that I could at least get an inch of the whole. So we could at least come among millions and millions and millions of people. We could move ahead to just establish what we are. So this is the first step of education. Education is compared by William Shakespeare as a phoenix bird, who it's an imaginary bird. I hope the English teachers will be knowing. It's an imaginary bird who burns itself to ashes, and with that ashes, we get the new bird. So you all are like that, because it's not only an achievement, you have actually made the platform for many others to come and present their achievements. So now we will move on to our next guest of honor, Dr. Dwarika Prasad O'Neill. I would like to give a brief introduction about Sir. He is a Pro Vice Chancellor at RV University, Bengaluru. He runs 2 social audio channels on Menstra. He has been nominated by Government of India to serve the board of CPSU, Ministry of Railways as independent director. He has worked with Flame University as professor and dean, Rithwit Company Limited, He has got a work in non-official independent director and IIM Kashipur as Assistant Dean Executive Education, Dehradun campus. Welcome, sir. We are really looking forward from hearing you. Over to you, sir.
Thank you. I hope I am audible. I just want to check the mic check thing.
Yes, sir, you are.
Perfect. Thank you, Shonali, and a warm good evening and good morning to everybody, depending on which part of the world you're joining us. It's indeed a very, very proud and a privileged moment for all of us educators to come together and talk and inspire each other, because this is one of the rare platforms, I think, and congratulations to EDVISHAN and the team to have thought about it on the eve of Teachers' Day. And I think all of us who are born learners, as Pramod said, we are shameless learners, and that's the reason we end up trying to teach a bit or share a bit whatever we have learned, and we continuously keep forgetting what we have learned and learn more, and that's how I think incrementally we keep learning a lot more on a journey of learning. So with due apologies to some people who might not be able to understand a couple of my couplets. As you said, I'm also a poet. So my philosophy of my education is summarized in these 4 lines, and then I'll translate it for everybody who doesn't understand Hindi. Is जिंदगी का ब्लैक बोर्ड लिए यहाँ वहाँ फिरता हूँ, जिंदगी का ब्लैक बोर्ड लिए यहाँ वहाँ फिरता हूँ, वक्त की चौक से लिखता हूँ मिटाता हूँ, जिंदगी का ब्लैक बोर्ड लिए यहाँ वहाँ फिरता हूँ, वक्त की चौक से लिखता हूँ मिटाता हूँ, कभी सीखने की जिद थी, कभी सीखने की जिद थी, आज सिखाने का बहाना, कभी सीखने की जिद थी, आज सिखाने का बहाना, जिंदगी का ब्लैक बोर्ड लिए यहाँ वहाँ फिरता हूँ. So end of the day, we are all travelers, we are all time travelers. People, we keep meeting people all around the world, not necessarily only in the classrooms, but the whole philosophy of learning and teaching is about, are we honest to self? And today, on this eve of Teachers' Day, I am reminded of my favorite teacher, Mrs. Aparna Mahapatra, somebody who I pray, somebody who's been extremely instrumental in shaping who I am today, both as an individual as well as a fortunate teacher. Mrs. Mahapatra, way back in 1986, I grew up in a tribal township near Rajasthan. I was born in Uttarakhand, but I grew up in a tribal township in Rajasthan, where a young, bright teacher came to our class full of ideas, full of thoughts, full of dreams. And she found many of us completely clueless about what we were doing with our lives. We could hardly speak any English. It was all Mewari, Rajasthani, Hindi belt. And though it was it's an English class, we could hardly speak anything in that particular language. So the first thing she did was, she said, forget about talking in English and speaking in English and knowing English as a subject. Let me just open up the world's window to you. And in that particular time, way back in 1986, she forced us to start reading newspapers. A very simple intervention. The newspapers used to come in after 2 days. English newspaper used to come after 2 days. Times of India used to come after 2 days. So Monday's newspaper we would read up on a Tuesday or a Wednesday. But that didn't deter us in terms of trying to try and learn something which was alien to us. And I remember back then, she said, forget, English as a subject, what is there in your book. Start knowing what's happening around you and start talking about it. And way back in 1986, I remember we had in our class a debate between Ronald Reagan and George Bush Sr. in a tribal belt in Rajasthan, way back near Udaipur. there are a couple of kids in the school, in the Kendriya Vidyalaya we studied, were essentially discussing about the Republicans and the Democrats, because we could look at the world beyond that tiny hamlet, tiny valley where we were, very, very safe, secure, but we didn't know the world beyond it. I think that's something which really helped us open up our eyes to the larger world, open the window to the larger world, and gave us a dream, to think beyond what we could achieve in our lives. And as I was sitting in a Harvard classroom in 2016, again as a learner, I remember my professor, Professor Grossman, taught us two things. And I think that has stayed with me all these years. And of course, I went very late in my life to learn again. I had some younger colleagues who were fortunate there. And again, Professor Grossman taught us two things which stayed with me. So I'm today talking about philosophy of my teaching and learning from some of my teachers. And Professor Grossman taught us two things. First, after every lecture of yours, after every session of yours, after every class of yours, come back and honestly write on your sheet of paper that, would I have attended my own session today? Would I have attended my own session today and paid for it? How honest can we be every single day? And I know for sure all of us teach, and we've been teaching. I've been teaching for 25 years, and every single day I put myself into that test. And many times I fail. I think 90% of the times I fail, but there are 10% of those ecstatic, euphoric moment when everything comes together, the learner, the teacher, the environment, and the class. And then you come back after that one and saying that that's worth it. That's the reason I'm there in this particular profession, which is so fortunate profession. We're really fortunate to be in this profession, right? That is one. Second, he essentially put up a huge benchmark for the teachers. He said, if there is a banker who's a corrupt banker, if there is a politician who's a corrupt politician, if there is somebody else who's there in that profession, doesn't matter. A teacher has to go a lot beyond and above than those people, and put herself or himself into a lot more scrutiny to self than otherwise. And he said this, that in your personal life, ask this question, that if your family could replace you, if they had an opportunity, we take a lot of things for granted, right? If your families, look at your own behavior, look at your own work ethic, look at your own personal ethic, you look at everything else and think that if your families could replace you, will they? If they had an opportunity to replace a better version of you, will they do that? And that puts up a lot more test on yourself about your own conduct in real life. I think these two things really definitely added a lot more thought to me, and I've always told my younger colleagues who join, and now I've been setting up institutions, as you know, I've been hand-holding a younger faculty to enter the world of academia, especially in the higher education academia, and I keep telling them one thing. When you go to the class, it is not a test of how much do you know. It's a test of how can you make learning pleasurable, so that next day morning a kid will wake up in his or her hostel room saying that today I'm going to go to the class, as excited as they would have gone to a playground, as excited they would have gone to watch an Amir Khan movie or whatever, or Avengers movie, and saying that, wow, today we're going to go do something exciting. And they will keep guessing, what will this guy do today? I think if that enthusiasm, the childlike curiosity we could build in ourselves, and it doesn't happen. I know we will all have to cover the syllabus and we have to finish and all that stuff. But I keep telling them, don't try to teach, make them learn. Sam dam dand bhed unko sikhana hai, padhana nahi hai. Right? It's not a judgment on your PhD, not a judgment on how much you know about your subject. And all of us know we know little about the subject. That is one. As you rightly said, Shunali, the servant leader thing, we're all servants. We're all serving two things. Our subject, the domain in which we try to learn a bit, which keeps changing, and our subjects, which means our students. So if you're loyal to your subject and subjects, I think rest of the journey for anybody who's been into teaching for long or just starting off, my 2 cents would be just stay loyal to these two, subject and subjects. Subjects because you don't know when you make an impact in their lives. By last count, I have taught in 55 institutions and more than almost 15,000 people in my life. And once in a while, after 25 years, 20 years, 15 years, somebody reaches out to you out of the blue. These guys would not have been in touch. And suddenly comes back to you and saying that, you know, sir, I remember these 2 lines of yours. I would have given, and I'm sure all of us have given thousands of hours of classroom, lectures. You don't know what you've taught in classrooms, but many times something we would have said something. So I do remember in a very small business school, it was not a top tier schools which have taught and across, right? So one boy I just saw on LinkedIn today, after 10 years, have really gotten into a top-notch consulting firm. And this guy started from a humble beginnings, and I congratulated him on LinkedIn. And he said, sir, you don't remember, but I remember your lines one fine day. And it said that every time you achieve something, ask and say this to yourself. And this is the lines of my poem, which I wrote when I was 17. And it says, क्षितिज ये नहीं है तुम्हारा, जाना होगा तुम्हें अभी और आगे, जलाना होगा स्वयं को कर्म रूपी भट्टी में, तभी पा सकते हो तुम अपने हिस्से का थोड़ा सा आसमान, लेकिन वो होगा सिर्फ तुम्हारा आसमान. So I think this guy remembered those lines, and it was amazing that this guy remembered after so many years. He could, every time he would achieve a professional success, he said, but yeah, I don't have to stop. Can I do it better? Can I make it more? Not in terms of the greed side of it, but sometimes a positive greed, positive unsatisfaction is good, that you keep improving yourself, otherwise you'll stop growing. I will end this with a very small anecdote, and probably less than a minute. I will just finish it. I'm mindful of the time. Many years ago, I was teaching in the IAS Academy, Missouri. I was also a professor of management on deputation from the IIM. And as typically we say, I got bored of the business school, the B school. I went to a Babu school, to try to train the civil servants. And as I was coming from Dehradun to Missouri in a car, a driver asked me, sir, are you an IAS officer? So smilingly, I said, no, but I am their professor. And he very, very inquisitively said, Acha sir, unko padhate bhi hain. Do you really teach them? Are they being supposed to be taught also, I said, we don't know whether they learn or not, but we do try. And then in all innocence, he asked me about how does one become an IAS? And in all sincerity, I actually, in the next 15 minutes, gave him a whole set of ways to how to go about writing a UPSC examination and so on and so forth. Then he started laughing. He said, sir, you would be thinking, why am I asking this question? I'm a cab driver. After all, I said, it doesn't matter. As long as you have enthusiasm, you have time, you have age at your side, anybody can, and this is the benefit of it, of an examination like that. That year, I had a student whose father was an auto driver. I have a student whose father was a puncture shop guy. We had 2 such cases that year, and they were so inspiring cases. I said, anybody could do that. He said, no, I'm talking about my 2 daughters. And I said, how old are your daughters? And they said, sir, at that time, it's 66 years ago, 2016. And he said, sir, the daughters are 6 and 10. And I said, I'm too young. He said, yeah, sir, but he said beautiful 2 lines in Hindi again. He said, sir, aaj se sochunga nahi to sapne kab dekhunga. And I got so inspired by that, I came home, I told my wife, no, please don't talk to me. Immediately I went and wrote 2 lines, which are the lines I want to share with all of you. कि सपनों को उड़ने के लिए हवाई जहाज का टिकट नहीं लगता, सपनों को उड़ने के लिए हवाई जहाज का टिकट नहीं लगता, बस पलकों को उम्मीदों के पंख चाहिए, We need wings of hope. That's what teachers do. And these two lines are celebrated for you guys, all teachers. कि ख्याल पकाने के चूल्हे कम नहीं. ख्याल, everybody has got ideas in that, right? ख्याल पकाने के चूल्हे कम नहीं. नई सोच के कोयलों को एक चिंगारी चाहिए. I think this is the flame. This is the spark teachers give in the classroom to give hopes to the students and millions of them. And the last lines are on our own teacher education learning system, ecosystem. कि सुर्ख कंक्रीट की इमारतों में ज्ञान कसमसाता है. We have to think beyond the concrete structures of the schools and the colleges and the university we've ended up creating. Building बनाने से institution नहीं बनते. सुर्ख कंक्रीट की इमारतों में ज्ञान कसमसाता है. विचारों को पनपने के लिए हरी घास, खुली धूप चाहिए. सपनों को उड़ने के लिए हवाई जहाज का टिकट नहीं लगता. बस पलकों को उम्मीदों के पंख चाहिए. So many years later, when I finally came up with the collection of my poems in a book which got released many months ago, I actually gave a tribute to Shamsher, who's my driver in Dehradun now as a regular taxi driver of mine, and I named it Ummeedon Ke Pankh, and I had these two poems, and it was dedicated to two of his daughters. And today Shamsher tells me that his daughter is in grade 12 doing very well, and today was an NDA examination, and I'm so happy that she wrote that examination. He wants to become an Air Force pilot. I just hope one day, she would be in a position to fly and live the dream her father had seen many years ago in a car ride with a professor. And we just hope that my words really become a reality. कि सपनों को उड़ने के लिए हवाई जहाज का टिकट नहीं लगता. बस पलकों को उम्मीदों के पंख चाहिए. आप सब लोग अपने स्टूडेंट्स को उम्मीदों के पंख देते रहें. उनकी जिंदगी में एक फरिश्ते की तरह बन के आए, और जितना भी आप दे सकें. I think it's a giving profession. It's not a taking profession. So I think it would be very fulfilling, and a teacher never retires, right? Even today, you won't believe this. So Mrs. Mahapatra, I'm just closing this. Mrs. Mahapatra called me up at 7 in the morning one day, a teacher from Bhubaneswar who taught me in 1986. And he said, "Tum log kya kar rahe ho? Tumne mera naam kharab kar diya." And I was like shocked. Ma'am calling up 7 in the morning, and it's like, "What happened, ma'am? What did I do wrong?" She said, "Look at, I lost with my mother." I said, "How come?" As things happen, her mother was the principal and teacher of the school in Bhubaneswar in 1975-76, where our honorable president, Mrs. Draupadi Murmu, essentially studied. She said, "मेरी माँ के बच्चे president बन गए, तुम क्या कर रहे हो? तुम अभी pro vice chancellor पे हो." Vice chancellor कब बनोगे? President कब बनोगे? मेरी माँ का student देखो, president बन गया. It was amazing. It brought tears to my eyes. That how lovely. It was all done in a zest, but it was so amazing. It was so amazing. And even today, when she sees me in public forums, and I'm all over the social media, and she comes back and says that, "No, you did not speak right. You had some problem. Your body language was not too good. You mispronounced certain words and all that." The teacher never stops being a teacher. I think that's the philosophy of life all our teachers have taught. To all of you, my sincere pranam, and congratulations for being a teacher. Congratulations for picking up a profession like this. You could have become anybody, but you chose the higher calling in life called teaching, learning. So thank you, Shonali and EDVISHAN team. Thank you everyone who's been listening to me patiently. And if I overstepped my boundaries and the time, my apologies. Thank you. Have a great evening and happy Teachers' Day, everyone. Thank you.
Beautiful,
Excellent, sir. Excellent. Really appreciate, sir.
Beautiful.
Thank you so much, sir.